This video is about the special traditions observed during ANZAC Day commemorations. On ANZAC Day, a very important tradition is the dawn service. In using the word service, we are really talking about people coming together to remember and commemorate significant people and events in the past. The dawn service is held at dawn on ANZAC Day because it was very early in the morning on the 25th of April 1915 when the ANZAC soldiers landed on the beaches of ANZAC Cove in Gallipoli. People in Australia and in other places around the world conduct the dawn service in different ways. On ANZAC Day, past and present servicemen and women from the Defence Forces, special dignitaries such as politicians, and crowds of people gather in a special place such as a war memorial for the dawn service. Most traditional dawn services include hymns and prayers. On ANZAC Day, many people say special prayers and sing hymns or religious songs for the Australian servicemen and women who have lost their lives in past conflicts. Flying the Australian and New Zealand flags at half-mast. This is done out of respect for those who have died serving their country. Mounting of the Catafalque Party. The Catafalque Party consists of 4 members of the Australian Defence Forces who position themselves around a memorial structure facing outwards with their heads bowed. An address or speech given by an important person or people. A recitation or reading of the Ode. This is part of a very special poem about servicemen who have lost their lives in wars and conflicts. Placing wreaths on and around memorials. This is done as a show of remembrance and respect for those who have lost their lives serving their country. Observing a minute of silence. This means that everyone at the service remains quiet for 1 minute. People usually bow their heads in respect at this time. Playing of the last post and the reveille by a bugler. Another piece of music, the rouse, can be played instead of the reveille at other ANZAC services during the day, but not at the dawn service. Playing of the national anthems of Australia or New Zealand or both, depending on where the service is being held. ANZAC Day marches or parades are conducted later in the day as part of ANZAC Day commemorations. Some of the groups of people who march in ANZAC Day parades include past members of the Defence Forces, many of whom have served their country in overseas conflicts, enlisted men and women from the Defence Forces, the family members of servicemen and women, and members of the general public. Let's take some time now to listen to a rendition of the last post. At most ANZAC Day dawn services, a recitation or reading of the Ode is made. The ode is a verse from a poem called For the Fallen, written by an English poet named Lawrence Binyon. The reading of the ode has been an ANZAC Day tradition in Australia since 1921. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. The phrase "lest we forget" is spoken at the dawn service as a reminder to never forget the ANZAC soldiers who fought and died for their country. These days, ANZAC Day is also a day to remember and show respect for the men and women of the Australian Defence Forces who served their country in past wars and are currently serving in present-day wars, conflicts, and humanitarian efforts around the world.